Hi guys, welcome to the latest episode of Cricket Draft Insight. Thought I'd just do a catch up regarding how things are going in the T20 Blast and the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Let's start with the T20 Blast. I proclaimed a few times, how happy I was with my squad, and then we're 3 or 4 days into the competition, and I'm thinking, what have I done? What have I picked this team for? And unfortunately, the final day of the last game week, things started to click. Chris Green took, it was like 4 for 12, 4 for 15 or something. A few cameos with the bat, including a few sixes. Jordan Thompson, my captain, who'd had a difficult, quiet game or two. He did what he's capable of. Hit a few sixes. I mentioned about how he's got more sixes than fours in his career. And then 3 or 4 wickets, was it? Caught and bowled, another catch, all action in the field. And that's what Jordan Thompson's sort of about. He might have a game or two where it doesn't quite click, but he's always worth having in the team because he will have those sort of stellar all-action performances. And then Michael Pepper was the other one. I think, was it a 42-ball 100? He's one I had in my team last year, a bit boom or bust. I think there were a few ducks, a few maybe 60, 70 odds. I think he started with 7 and a duck in this competition, but then he hits that 42-ball 100. Now, interestingly, the way the fixtures are for this week, so Nottinghamshire and Worcestershire play 3 times. So I brought in Brett D'Oliveira as captain. I was going to go Joe Clark, but D'Oliveira for his all-round qualities. He did get runs in one of the games, although he didn't bowl one game, so you don't really know what to expect. But I'm going to go with D'Oliveira as captain, Clark, and I've also brought in Harrison at a cost of 75 points. I'm hoping that's worth it. Maybe I'm getting a bit too, spending points a bit too often, but hopefully the returns for 3 games and the points potential are going to be worth it. So with Ethan Brooks as well, 2 Worcestershire, 2 Nottinghamshire players. Thinking ahead to the next week, the thing is I've taken at the moment, I think I might have ended up selling Thompson, benching Pepper, benching all the single game weekers, but I want to get Thompson back in. I think Ferreira's the other one I've sold. But then if I wanted to get those guys back in, and obviously, still a big fan of an Aaron Donald, still think he could do well. So if he comes back in, but then I don't necessarily have a lot of players who are playing 3 times next week. Like I've got Ben Dwarshus, who's maybe the other one I would have considered selling, but they're due to play 3 times. So of course it would help if Durham, could post some competitive totals. Ashton Turner is one I mentioned for Durham, who hasn't done much yet. Obviously with speculation, he's maybe not going to bowl that much. But like Durham as a whole, didn't really get going with the bat. But that's something I was going to get at, and that's something I was getting a bit frustrated with the first few days, is looking at the team. I ended up with Benkenstein bowling 1 over. I mean, Freddie Eldrake bowling 1 over in 2 games. But, David Willey did well in the first game. Ravi Bapara, who we know is such a good player. Like, they're the players you need. And obviously not everybody's batting at 3 and bowling 4 overs. But if you want to do well in this competition, like, your players have got to be involved in the game. I go back to Jordan Thompson. As good as that performance was, like, they leave him as late as possible to bat. The first game he bowled 1 over. I've said Ashton Turner not getting a bowl, Benkenstein bowling 1 over. If you can find the sort of David Willey, Ravi Bapara sorts that are batting at 3 and 4 and probably bowling 4 overs, you're maximising, your point scoring potential, aren't you? But hopefully going in there with the, a few Nottinghamshire, a few Worcestershire players can get some points this week. I'm sort of around 1,000 position now, but I mean, I don't think that number's of any great relevance. I think it's going to be pretty volatile. But yeah, let me know how you're getting on in the Blast. If you started well or you're planning on tearing it up this week. But yeah, that's how I've started the competition. Moving on to the Charlotte Edwards Cup. I mean, straight in there, Paige Schofield really excites me. I was looking at her record. Got a good List A record and also a good strike rate in T20s, but only 1 half-century 10 years ago. Now, she's listed as an all-rounder. She has bowled a bit in her time. The last few years, I think, she's been the most successful, but she hasn't been bowling much, if at all, this year. But she scored, it was something like 78 not out of 39 balls, and then she hit 50 off 34, I think it was. So 50 strike rate bonus, really exciting. I spoke a lot about men's batters who, are averaging around 30 and who seem to be progressing, in the last few years. And, as I've said, it's not always about, career records. Look at Graham Van Buren in the men's game, who is bowling a bit more. when that hadn't been the case the last few years. Your career stats, or even your recent stats, don't tell us how things are. What a player is, what capable of, or what role they have now. And she suddenly, 10 years without 50, only 150 in over 100 T20 matches, has hit 250s, batting 3 or 4, batting 3, I think. So hugely exciting, and a few other contributions there. Catherine Bryce as captain. So yeah, looking forward to this week. I think everybody's playing twice. Thinking about playing 12 player googly, because I think my bench now is reasonably strong. If I'm lucky, I could have 15 in action, so I might go for that. Might go for that this week. So again, let me know how you're doing in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Nice to see a lot of sort of familiar names, familiar interactors, commenters on Twitter, sort of up there, sort of in the top of my public league and top of the overall league. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Then finally, Cricket Draft announced yesterday, ultimate picks. Now, when I went on Twitter, X, I saw that it was Vitality Blast had posted it via the ECB, and I was like, oh, Cricket Draft wanted to do that. They might not be very happy. And then I scrolled further down and realised it was Cricket Draft reposting it. So that'll be interesting. I picked 4 players. I've tried to align it with my actual team. Although one of them is Gareth Roderick, who isn't in my actual team, so no doubt he'll do really well this week. But hopefully, as well as being sort of fun in itself and prizes and things, hopefully that's just a way that people maybe not on Twitter don't know about Cricket Draft, and then via the ECB website and app they learn about Cricket Draft and they come and play the full game, because obviously I've had a reasonable amount of new followers recently, and a lot of them have like @FPL accounts and usernames. Obviously, we just want the more the merrier playing Cricket Draft, because it's fun, but it's just more competitive, isn't it? And then when you finish higher, or if we finish higher, it's more impressive, isn't it? So just great to be getting hopefully more users. So yeah, just a little roundup there. Really enjoying the Blast and the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Obviously been a tough few days because we just had so much action, and then like 3 days where there's no games. But hopefully back in the thick of it tomorrow, and then racking up the points over the weekend. I'm hoping you don't see Yorkshire, but then I've messed up because Donald got concussion. They're playing Derbyshire, so I don't have Donald, who I'm a big fan of, and I don't think I'll have Thompson. I had Thompson, Ferreira, and Shoham, but I'm not going to have any of them in my team because Yorkshire only play one, so I can just see I'm going to be sat there, and Aaron Donald is going to score like a 50-ball century, and Jordan Thompson's going to take 5 caught balls, and I'll enjoy it being outside in the glorious weather watching cricket and Yorkshire win. But I might just get a bit frustrated that I'm not earning any Cricket Draft points from those players and performances. But anyway, hope you enjoy it if you get out to any cricket. Thank you very much for watching. How's that?